Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites, where I have new videos every Tuesday. And if you would like an extra personal monthly video or Zoom call, you can check out supporting me over on my Patreon page. That link is down in the description. Today's video is my Q2, so my quarterly planning update for 2021. I'm excited to go through everything I've been using and let you know how it's going right now. So we're just going to start going through this stack. And then I'm also going to show you around the office where I keep different planners because I have had that question before. So I'm going to film some of that and pop that in here too. And if you want to get a base of where I started the year at, I will link my 2021 stack video down here in the description. And I will link my whole 2021 quarterly planning playlist so that if you want to see like what happened from my 2021 stack and then what happened quarter one, and here is where we are at the end of quarter two. This was my book of days. As I have shared in previous videos, I was going to write anything I wanted in this Stalogy 365 notebook. I love the Stalogy. And I went until about mid-March, March 17th, March 20th. Let's see, where did I leave off? Well, I went till April. And then I kind of stopped. I did an entry in in May, and then another entry in June. So what happened after April in this book is I lost steam with the fact that I feel like I'm doing too much journaling. So I lost steam on this, and I didn't want it to be pages that didn't mean something to me. So in here, I let it be anything I want it to be. It could be journaling. It could be writing a quote that hit me that day, a scripture that hit me that day, thoughts that hit me that day, or just plain journaling, like I said. I used some Cocoa Daisy sticker kits that they had sent me in here, but I also used my Mary ENGELBREIT Page a Day pictures from her Page a Day calendar. When it got to feeling laborious, I never like to continue something. When I'm doing a lot of journals, I don't like to try to force something. And so I am okay with this spanning more than 1 year. So how there was only one entry in May and one in June, I decided I would just do entries when it hit me. But what I've noticed is that I usually don't. I see an amazing quote, I read a great scripture in my scripture study that morning, but I don't take the time to go record it here. I think I am going to try to institute this into my morning with my scriptures, and if something hits me, to write it in here then, because I really like the thought of that. This is something I haven't tried yet, so we'll just see. And if I'm not feeling it, then I will just let it sit there, like I said, and come back to it as I feel like I find a thought or a quote or a scripture or a day that I want to record in here, and I will record it. The thing I loved about this though was the thought that I was going to do a page a day in 2021. And this is 365 pages. But if I get back on the wagon, we won't go that far into 2022. Let's see. I will keep you guys updated next time. And this is the B6 Stalogy 365. I do have in the fall a video coming up where I'm going to share all my favorite notebooks. So from Erin Condren to LEUCHTTURM to Stalogy to other ones to Becky Higgins. Stalogy are definitely going to be in that favorite notebooks video. I love it. And I love how it feels when it gets used and written in. And I just think it's such a great deal of a notebook. I love the way the pen takes to paper, everything about this paper. And I like the B6 Stalogy better than the A5 Stalogy because the grid is bigger in the B6. Then my Becky Higgins daily notebook. So this is my daily planner right now. If you've been around here, you have definitely heard me talk about this a million times over. I'm in my second one of these. I did a flip through on Instagram when I finished my first one. And basically, I love using this for my days because I love to mark things out in my dark Erin Condren dual tip black marker. And I love to have the freedom. I got a spill on that page, but I love to have the freedom of I can design my day however I want. Most time I do a top 3 or 4 up here, but if I have like appointments that day, I can put that up here. So every day can look a little bit different based on how I need it to look. And that's what I love about using a notebook. I also love a small notebook like this because it's the perfect page size for me. If it's right next to my computer, and it's just been working so well. It's not the first time that I've used a notebook for a daily planner, but it's the first time that I have found just like what I feel is like the perfect notebook for my daily planner. If I needed a bigger page, I would definitely be using an Erin Condren notebook because I love her paper and I love all the choices that she has in her notebooks. But like I said, this one fits right next to my computer, and the page is the perfect size right now for what I need daily. I love her very light gray lines. I will link this Becky Higgins Simple Notebook down below. I've talked about it a lot on Instagram. It is 60-pound paper, so it's not anything super thick, but it holds up to just, you know, my daily list just perfectly. I don't need anything super thick for my daily list. I'm still loving it, so I'm still in it. I think my first one I started back at the end of October, and now we are in mid-June, and I'm still in it. So I think I could definitely make it a year using these notebooks as my daily planner. I don't have an affiliate link or a discount code for Becky Higgins, but I just love these notebooks. Oh, and also if you're trying to find like my Stalogies, they are all in my Amazon store, as well as like my Katie Daisy planner under my favorite planning supplies. So that Amazon store link is down in the description too. This is my Stalogy 365 prayer journal. And I started this before the year even ended last year. I just don't have the front hooked into this cover. This cover is a review I've done here on my channel. It is 1-star leather, made in Los Angeles, California, and handmade. I really love this A5 cover. It's well made. I will link that video down in the description for you so you can find the review. And I could pop this front cover in there. I have not. So in my prayer journal, I'm not going to show anything up close here, but I love the way Stalogy takes pen once again. And with the smaller grid in the A5, I write on every other line. I mean, I have missed a few days here and there. I'm actually keeping a habit tracker of it. I'm using the Get to Workbook yearly habit trackers for a few things this year. She sends them out free if you sign up for her newsletter, and you will still get that freebie sent out if you sign up now, even later in the year. I love the Get to Workbook yearly habit tracker. There are other yearly habit trackers out there, but I'm using that one, and this is one of the things I'm habit tracking. If I write in my prayer journal every day, it's typically a page per day, and I do different things. Many days I write out my whole prayer, so the whole page is just a prayer, and I just do ... at the bottom because I continue praying more than how much I can write on one page almost always. It's not like I just end my prayer because the page ends, but I end writing it, and it really gets me into a different frame of mind and a different way of praying when I am writing out my entire prayer and thinking about it. So I've really enjoyed that, but I also sometimes use it for just praying and then recording, like sitting with my feelings and recording my promptings and what I feel like the Lord is telling me after my prayer. So I've used it in those two specific ways, and I've really found it to be valuable in my life. Now, will I continue it when my year is up and my whole book is full? Because right now I'm about that way, I would say I'm about halfway through. I probably will not do this right away again because I feel like I will need a break. But I think it got me into a really good pattern, and I'm really glad I'm doing it, and I'm going to stick with it through the end of the year. So this is something I have kept up with. This is my Katie Daisy. I have a full review on this too. I will link it in the description. My Katie Daisy weekly planner. Her artwork is just so beautiful. And to get all her artwork for, these planners are always like under $15, I feel like. I just feel like it's an amazing deal. It is a 17-month planner though, so if you buy her new one overlaps. I did just buy her new one, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do the same thing in it that I'm doing this year. So unfortunately, with them overlapping being 17 months, I do have a couple of blank months because I usually jump into the new one when the new one starts, and I think that's in August. Yeah, so I probably will jump in there. But I have been recording daily gratitudes in here. And then just recently, I started sometimes recording 3 good things from the day that happened. So when I want like a change from just a gratitude, just 3 good things, which is like a gratitude to me. That actually stays near my nightstand, like on my dresser in my room. And I usually do that every night at the end of the day with my 2 5-year journals. And yes, it is a little overboard using 2 5-year journals. Let me tell you why I started them. We'll move the Erin Condren out of the way for now. So that's the Katie Daisy. Her new one is in my Amazon store, and I am going to have a review of her new one coming up, I think, in July. So I'll do a complete flip through in a YouTube short video here on my channel. So why am I in 2 5-year journals? I don't know. I do know. I'm in year 4 of my LEUCHTTURM, and I do have a comparison video up of these two 5-year journals, comparing them. This is Unbound's 5-year journal, and I've reviewed Unbound's planner before too. And this is the LEUCHTTURM 5-year memory book, which you can buy on many websites, including Amazon. Make sure you compare the Amazon price to some other sites and to the LEUCHTTURM site before you purchase, because sometimes, depending on inventory, the Amazon price can be inflated. And it comes in a couple of different colors. The LEUCHTTURM one has a band at the back. I've been writing my word of the year back here, and I've been keeping some of the stamps that I just love throughout the years, because I thought after 5 years, like seeing some of the favorite stamps I've used would be fun. I don't know. I'm not a stamp collector, but it sounded fun to me. And in the beginning of my 5-year journal, I just used my Polaroid Zip picture printer to print out some things from Instagram that I love, some Katie Daisy pictures. And I just started with this one, which is one of my very favorite Mary ENGELBREIT pictures of all time, with a favorite quote. And now let us welcome the new year full of things that have never been. And I just love that picture with that quote. And so that's what I started my journal with. I started it in 2018. I will finish it after next year, after 2022. And I rotate between black and blue ink every other year. And like I said, I'm on year 4 this year. So we've done black, blue, black, blue. And I also like to record the high and low temperature in the upper right-hand corner, because I just love to look back over the years and see like how our temperatures have been. Actually, this has been the easiest and most satisfying journal that I have ever kept. I enjoyed it so much that I started another 5-year journal before I even ended this one. I write in this one every night, and this is just kind of, it's like basic events, like whatever I want to remember from that day, whatever happened with my kids or in our lives, just anything from that day. So basic events. And I have loved reading back over the previous years. That's when it becomes really fulfilling. And it also has shown me in ways how the Lord has answered my prayers in ways that I would not have recognized if I was not going over and reading, the past 3 years, like when I'm writing in it at night for this 4th year. I just would not have remembered certain things that I asked for or needed help with, and how those things have come to fruition and my prayers have been answered. I would not have recognized that. I've said this in every video. Keeping a 5-year journal, there are so many different ones out there. I feel like it's been one of the most gratifying things in my life, and one of the easiest, best journals I've ever kept. If I keep another journal ever in my life, if I only keep one journal, I think a 5-year one. But you do have to be committed. If there have been just a few nights where I forget to write at night, or I'm too tired, and I have to write the very next morning, or I do not remember what happened the day before, that's something you kind of have to commit to. This Unbound one is very different in structure, and page-wise, you have lines and the paper is much thicker. Honestly, now that I've been in both for several years, this is my 2nd year in the Unbound one. Actually, I started it in a February, and that doesn't bother me at all, how it won't be exactly 5 full years. But this is my 2nd year. If I had to choose one to go in again, the Unbound is more expensive, but I would choose the Unbound. I love writing on this paper. I like having the lines, even though I'm fine with no lines, because I've loved my Blank Planner Perfect books for journaling. If I was comparing the two, I think I would pick this one to go in again. But I have really enjoyed LEUCHTTURM also, and I haven't had a problem with not having lines. The cream colored thinner paper, it just makes it feel like, a well-worn book that you've written in. So I don't know. Now sitting here, the paper quality in this one is better. Having the lines are better. I like the print at the top of the page better in this one. I'm not showing you a whole lot because my personal stuff is in here, but I do show you close up before I've written in these in my comparison video up on YouTube. So you can see the pages laid next to each other on YouTube. Those are going on. I don't see myself quitting either one of these until they're up. They're not hard. It just takes a little bit of discipline every night, a very short time, like 5 minutes to fill both of these out. It's very little commitment for a very big payback, and I'd love to have the 5 years in a row in there. Okay, my content planner this year has been in my golden coil. I built this specifically for my content planning, and it has worked so well for me. In fact, I'm going to build, I believe, very similar to this same one for 2022. Like, that's how well what I put in here has worked for me. And there might be 1 or 2 little tweaks that I make, but I think I'm going to go with the basic same page layout. And I have a full walkthrough of this planner up on YouTube. So I will link that down below if you're interested to seeing what extra pages I built in here. The extra pages have been serving me so well, but I can't show you those filled in. I did a full flip through before I started writing in this. I added Passion Planner tabs, and I just absolutely love this planner for my content. I love how you can customize it. On the front page, I put keep it small, keep it simple, give it time. That's my mantra for this year. That I also have taped in my Erin Condren. This is my 2021. This is a calendar year. I cannot wait to build my 2022. This is my right-hand man with my Instagram planning and my YouTube videos and like talking to different companies, what we discuss and stuff is in here. So very helpful to me. What did I try out that was different? Well, I knew I wasn't really going to jump into doing this, but every once in a while, this is not the first time. It's happened many times since I started my channel. I get the itch to try bullet journaling, and I have LEUCHTTURM bullet journals sitting there blank. I have an Archer and Olive bullet journal. And all these are reviewed under my journals playlist. And I do some comparisons. I think I did Archer and Olive. I might have even done a comparison. Maybe I just did a review. I can't remember. I have the Scribbles That Matter. So I've tried a lot of the bullet journals out there. I'm not a huge fan of dot grid. I don't know why. Sometimes you just feel like drawing your own spread and seeing how the week feels. And so I've tried a lot of bullet journaling in the different journals that I have before. This is in the Scribbles That Matter. I tried a few weeks. I knew I wasn't going to leave my planner and like jump in here, but I just liked to draw it out, see how my week would feel in here, how lists would feel in here. I feel like when my life is less busy someday, I don't know when that will be, but I feel like when my life is less busy, as in what all that I'm doing right now as a mom, homeschool, running my channel, running the house, someday I could see myself bullet journaling because I could see this working so well as a daily and a weekly combination, because you can have your to-do list on the same page as your entire week if you don't have that much to do. And just list your to-dos every day as you get to them, like pick and choose from your to-do list. That was kind of where I was going in my spreads, thinking about it, how I would love to utilize it. So I kind of tried it out 2 different ways there. And this one, I kind of laid out my week on the left side and did all my to-dos on here. And these are previous times I've done things in here like Christmas break list, power hour list. So this will not be the last time that I pick up a bullet journal, but I did play in it this quarter. I was going to say semester. I'm stuck in school. All right. So if you want reviews on any of these, I will post my journals playlist down below, and I have all those. I started something new quite a while ago, and I think I have forgotten to mention it anywhere. It is called like a phone call, or it could be email, whatever, notebook. And so it's like, when you talk to companies about different things, but I might write it in my daily planning notebook. Or I might write it on a random piece of paper, or I might write it in my Planner Perfect, but then that month's book is up and it goes away in the closet. This is going to be a notebook that will last me for years. I don't know, it might even last me till the end of my life. I just picked a blank sketchbook Erin Condren notebook, and I started writing my phone calls or anything I discussed, like with insurance, those ongoing things that you might need to look back on. I started writing them in here, and it has been so helpful. I know I'm only a couple pages in, and I've been in a few months, and that's why I mean like this might last me till the end of my life. But it's so helpful that it's all in one notebook to come back to. So if you're like getting quotes for something in your house, like sheetrock repair, all that is here on one page, and I could have continued it if I need to go back and look at. Like insurance stuff is all here with an issue on one page. I just named it phone calls and emails, started 12/26/20. Okay, it was 6 months ago. And I've only needed a couple pages, but every time I have a need, I pull this out of my shelf. And instead of recording it, and I love this cover too, instead of recording it somewhere else randomly, it is here. Erin Condren notebooks are one of my very favorite products. If you've been here any amount of time, you know that because I've raved about them. If you are following me, you know I am still in Planner Perfect. I have been in Planner Perfect, and I am sharing almost monthly now my setup every month. So when my subscription box comes, I am sharing my setup every month. That is my journal. This is my plan book for the month, which I don't love to share once it's written in because I've said that it just started getting too personal and I didn't want to start sharing the inside, but I do a complete flip through when it is decorated and not written in yet. And in my setup videos here on YouTube, I share all about how I use it, while we're decorating and setting it up. So you can check out those videos. And I do have some ideas for how I'm going to change up how I'm using this coming up in July. Because, you know, I'm constantly letting things change as my life changes. And my list book, I just still keep in here to write any and every list, but not like phone call stuff. And there's my quote up front: become more aware of what's really worth your energy. Planner Perfect is still in here for whether I am scripting my day the night before or the morning of, or whether I am just journaling right now, but I am trying some new things out in it, and I will share it in my July setup video. What I've been tinkering with and trying out in my Planner Perfect plan book this month, instead of just journaling or scripting, and then kind of what I'm going to try in July. But I have loved this June girl. She's so beautiful. My Erin Condren, I am in my vertical colorful. I've been in Erin Condren for almost 4 years, and it's always been the vertical. I did take a break at the beginning of this year. If you watch my 2021 stack video, I tried a vertical layout from Golden Coil because I just love Golden Coil, and I love the versatility of being able to build it. And I loved their vertical layout and some different aspects of it with how I wanted to use it. I used it for 3 months, and I really did miss the colors in my Erin Condren, the stickers in my Erin Condren, and yes, I put some stickers in my Golden Coil. The colors and the fonts of Erin Condren just make me a little bit happier. And so I went back into my Erin Condren. I still love Golden Coil. As you saw, I've used it all year for my content planning. I've used it in the past. I've used their weekly planners as a daily. If you go look at my Golden Coil playlist, you can see all the different ways I've used Golden Coil in the past. I just couldn't let it take over my weekly Erin Condren. So I'm still in my weekly Erin Condren. It ends at the end of June, and we will be moving on to the new one. And I just did a flip through last week of stickering my entire new Erin Condren planner, about why I sticker the entire planner, what I use, why do I sticker it all at once for the whole year? So you can go check out that video. I will link it down in the description too. It just came out last Tuesday. And I'm trying something new in here. I am kind of pre-writing my videos, edit and film, because those are the big things I do to the video. Of course, I have to do all the other things like make the thumbnails, the tag, blah, 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 upload. But I'm just putting those big things so that I can try to map out, because on days like that we have 2 eye doctor appointments, or it's the day I spend a good chunk of time with my oldest son since he's leaving soon in just a couple months, then I like to kind of look at that week and say, oh, where can I stick this filming and where can I stick this editing that needs to come up, that needs to get done? Because if not, sometimes I end up using a whole bunch of whiteout when I have to move things around. And also, these stickies will make my filming and editing stand out to me. So I'm going to see how I feel about this. These are just that are from Amazon. They're, I think, 1.5 by 2 inches. And I just cut them right in half. And then that's what I've been using. We'll see how that works. I like to write my appointments up top, or any big thing for the day in my top box. So like something that has to get done, or an appointment, or an errand. And then just normal to-dos or channel work would take over the next 2 boxes. I really want to start dedicating, like, I guess here I've dedicated the bottom box to my channel work, but I think I would kind of like to actually move that up, but I already had written some things in there. So we'll see where this migrates to. I think the sticky note thing is going to work out though. So we're still going to be in our Erin Condren. We are still going to be in our Ashley Shelly monthly. She has 2 sizes of this monthly notebook. The smaller size I have is sold out now. I think she still has the 6x9 available at 40% off if you wanted to try it. It's 80-pound paper, and it's a monthly planner with lines, and it only has 1 lined page in between each month. I love that because I don't want something thick. This is basically my wall calendar. I have used her monthly notebook planner for 3 years now. This is my 3rd year, and you can see how busy it gets, but this is my guiding light. I just basically assign a color to the month. Everything big goes in here and in my iCal. All the appointments, but plus sometimes I write like filming day, big things like that. So this is definitely my guiding light. I find it easier to write on than a wall calendar, and I just keep it up on my desk on an acrylic easel so that I can always see it. I really like to see my 3 views at once. I have realized I really like to always see my monthly, My weekly, this lives on my desk next to me too. And then my daily, like all at my desk so I can see them all at once. I used to think I would like everything all in one book, but I have really learned over the years that that's not true. And that's why I don't use my monthlies really in my Erin Condren unless I'm just putting it in there for journaling, because I don't like to flip and see something. I need to see my whole month right out in front of me. You can see July's already laid out a lot. That's what August looks like, September. So anytime there's big things or appointments. And then as you can see, once you get into the month, oh boy, it gets, you know, a lot more filled up in those months. And totally white out is used all over this thing. That is still going to be in use. This is my YouTube schedule. Yes, I keep it in my golden coil. I need it out in front of me too. And my golden coil has all my Instagram stuff too. That's really what the days of the week in my golden coil are for on the weekly views. This is for my YouTube. It all makes sense to me. It all has meaning, the different colors, the stars, the black dots, everything means something. And it has just worked for me from the beginning. And so I am not messing with it. I cut up my little sticky notes into thirds for this. And I keep all these different stickies and ideas and different things going on back here. It all has meaning. A couple of years ago, I used to print off free calendars. I didn't love the looks of all of them and some of the other different stuff that came on them. And so I found this shop on Etsy. I will link her. I cannot remember the name of the shop, but this is either my second or third year to buy her digital, you know, printouts. I've already bought the 2022 one and printed them out because we are already going into 2022 on my clipboard. As I remove a month, I add another one on here. I really like her clean aesthetic and feel. I would like the boxes to be bigger and her to bump up the border here. It's the best one I found on Etsy just for a quick search of what I needed. I'm staying with it. If it's not broken, I don't fix it. All right, guys, we're not going to do an office tour because I already have an office tour plus filming setup tour all up on YouTube. And I will link that video here in the description for you. But I'm just showing you where my planners live because people have asked that. So here on my desk, my daily notebook lives here. It's just flipped to a blank page right now, but it is always flipped to the day of. And then my golden coil content planner lives there on a planner stand from Erin Condren. Sometimes I have an extra list notepad up here just to scribble things on, but like my daily list is always here. I just filmed the video, so I wasn't turned to my list for today. My Erin Condren is always to my left, my weekly, my YouTube calendar, my Ashley Shelly. Okay, I think those are all the things I shared in the video. And then behind me is my Planner Perfect is usually laid out up here somewhere to the day that I am on. And then I have a little cart over here, and this is like all my morning stuff here. My Stalogy book of days is here. My scripture marking map pencils are in there. My prayer book, another book I'm reading, plus my scriptures are all in this bucket. Plus my scripture study journal, which I sometimes write in when things hit me. That's a LEUCHTTURM. So that's where everything lives in my office. So you can kind of just see the lay of the land and how everything is out and available to me at all times. That's my Q2 planning update of what I'm in, what I'm using. Thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what your main planner is for the year. You know, my Erin Condren is my main weekly planner, and I would love to hear what your main planner is. Let me know down in the comments. And I will also leave the shop where I bought these rainbow crocheted clips. These are quite big clips, but it works well on the back of my Ashley Shelly book. And when it sits up on my easel, I get to see it all the time. And this one, she does different colors. I just taped to the back when I realized this clip was way too big to use in my Planner Perfect. I didn't know when I ordered them, but the clips are just too big and heavy for me to use in my Planner Perfect and to be able to write in the book. I just used painter's tape and taped it back on this Erin Condren clipboard. They don't make these clipboards anymore. I'm really sad about that. I'm glad I bought several when she was making them, but I just like to be able to look at it every day. So I will link those rainbows down in the description too. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of others, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.